We didn't win any of the divisions I applied for, nor did we win the special categories. United won that one. And I was sitting down thinking, we bombed out. It was the hand up in the air when it was announced. It was really something very, very, very special. Thank you. Particularly, it was our 25th anniversary of actually having the official opening at Mark 1 Apparel and winning the Prime Minister's Exporter of the Year on that occasion. Indeed, it was only a couple of weeks difference between them. It was very, very special. At my age, and being here for over 25 years, I can remember the consultant who came to Fiji, who did the analysis on what needs to be done to improve exports. And I've noticed that you're still here as well. You probably hosted him too. Fiji, as today, particularly then, needed to improve its export base. Nothing's changed. For our country to move forward and employ those who are coming through the system, we must always focus on our exports. And as one famous British Prime Minister said, Margaret Thatcher, she said, export or die. Simple as that. We are dependent on a lot of imports, and we cannot continue as a nation if we continually import our stuff and do not export. We'll go broke. Apart from the tourism industry giving us the revenues, and I believe 40% stay in the country, if the figures are right, we still need a very strong export base to maintain the economic growth of this country. Hence, the consultant suggested, and thank God they did, implement the Exporter of the Year Awards, headed by none other than the Prime Minister, to make sure the relevance and the importance of such exporting. I can remember the first one who won it. It was Fiji Fish in 1993. And I think I remember the venue. I think it was at the Trade Winds. You're right, it was down the Trade Winds. And I can remember a lot of the winners, the multiple winners. United Apparel. I can remember Pure Fiji, Fiji Airways, Flour Mills of Fiji. Of course, Gate and Austin at Pure Fiji. So there were a lot of multiple winners throughout the 22 years now. And I think, while the numbers are right, I think the garment industry still has 5 winners in that 23, so we're still doing all right. So why do I apply? Why should you apply? We export. We have to impress on our customers on a daily basis. And remember, in our industry, and I suspect that anybody else who exports, you are as good as your last mistake. So having a win and declaring it and advertising that you have won the Prime Minister's Exporter of the Year Award certainly puts a feather in your cap when you're dealing with importers from Fiji. Fiji has had its run with what I term sovereign risk. But for somebody who's living here, and as Gudo had already said, that somebody mentioned that Fiji is open for business. Well, as he said, we've never been closed. Fiji has always been open for business, and Fiji is able to do a lot more than what we currently do. And I have a strong passion about this, particularly in my industry. And on that note, I'd like to advertise that one of my customers have decided to open up their own factory. Where I was a supplier to them, they feel that they are big enough and strong enough to open up their own in Suva. So we're going to have another addition to the garment industry, and I foresee many, many more who will do this. There is not one industrialized nation on earth that has not had the garment industry as part of its economic growth. And Fiji is doing that now. And my vision in that in 10 to 20 years, there'll be close to back where it was, 20,000 employees in my industry, exporting well over $500 million a year, and most likely will win every Prime Minister Exporter of the Year awards from there on in. We're there. I commend you all to please, when you fill out the forms, no, don't fill out the forms. Please don't fill out the forms. look at the forms and be inventive. One of the reasons I suspect I won last year was that we went overboard and did a fantastic presentation. My staff did a great job in doing an extraordinary presentation. I wasn't in the country at the time when they presented it, and I was blown away by it. So, and what I know when I'm judging on other events like the Fiji Business Excellence Awards, or even the Fiji Women's Business, the Women in Business Awards, those who just fill out the forms don't seem to quite get it. You're out there to impress the judges. So when you do get those forms, do a great job when you present them. What did it mean to my staff? Well, apart from splitting up the money evenly over 500 staff, they enjoyed the bit of cash on that. The thrill that they know that they are one of the best in the country, and they're out there on a global scale. We can compete internationally. They know that. And it builds up an esprit de corps in the company which you cannot buy. You cannot buy this. We had a great party after the event, and it sort of bounded everybody, and we still are. We're still on a high. I would recommend anybody who exports to apply and feel the happiness and the euphoria that we all did on winning that on that night. I thank